to John Trubee. For KXLU, I'm Michael Somas.
Okay, thanks a lot, Mike. This is Spoken Words, and my name is Rick Winward, as Mike so kindly said. Tonight, my guest for the next hour is John Trubee. John has an amalgamation of his material on an LP released this year. It's called The Communists Are Coming to Kill Us. The record includes poetry readings, jazz, and synthesized noise segments with many phone calls John made to unsuspecting persons also included on the record. We'll probably be hearing some of this. Well, I don't know. Are we going to be hearing some of this tonight?
What, the record?
Yeah.
Absolutely not, because we'll be getting to better music than that.
Okay. All right. And John, anyway, is going to be doing some live reading here in the studio from time to time. The disclaimer, of course, please do be aware that sometimes the language used or topics discussed on this show could be construed as offensive to some listeners. If you think you might be among the listeners who could be offended by what goes down here tonight, please tune out until the conclusion of this show at midnight. All right. Are you an L.A. native?
No, I'm originally from back east, but had to leave due to the lousy weather.
And that was it, huh? The weather. Where exactly back east? New Jersey?
Yes, I grew up in Princeton, New Jersey. It's where Princeton University is located. I have a great deal of animosity towards Princeton, New Jersey, if there's any Princeton natives listening, because it's a very wealthy town. I mean, you know, my parents were well off, upper middle class and so forth, but just the idea of snobism and wealth and a very cold, obnoxious, status-conscious town, and I was very happy to get the hell out of there.
Uh-huh. And you found, I guess, here in L.A. that things are much different, and
well, no,
you can live a happy life here.
No, L.A. You can be isolated from people since you're in the car most of the time, and yes, there's snobby, status-conscious people in Los Angeles also, but there's a lot of resources available here which were not available back in Princeton. Like I can get on the radio here and knock Princeton, New Jersey, which I couldn't do back there.
That's right. Definitely not on Princeton Station anyway. You could, I'd like to hear a little bit about your childhood, because I bet a lot of people attempting to understand what you do end up kind of blaming everything that you do in your childhood.
Oh, sure. Well, you see, I grew up in an orphanage where I was beaten by a hunchback, you know, and no, you know. All right. And
I see. You don't have to say anything else.
No, when I got out of the orphanage, I was I had an average, family life and so forth. You know, healthy, happy family life. I grew up like everybody else did. Went to school and all that sort of stuff, but for some reason or another, I was incredibly, intensely resentful of the adult world. I mean, my parents are okay; they're fine and so forth. But I think everybody as a child grows up being sort of resentful of the adult world and having rules and regulations crammed down your throats. It's just that I haven't forgotten it, and I'm constantly aware of it, and I identify more with children than with adults. I don't think I've ever grown up. And I hate the adult world, and I will until I die. And I question the tenets of our social mores, whereas most people just sort of sleepwalk through their days.
Okay, I wanted to ask you some questions specifically about the stuff that you do, but
sure.
Before I do that, I know that some people might just not have heard of any of your material, and so at this point, if you could give us an example of some of your better stuff, I think people would be appreciative, and I would be too.
What, that we play it? Or?
No, read something.
Oh, or read something. Okay, this was written in 1980. It's very short, and I wrote this deliberately to offend people or to make myself laugh. You can interpret it either way you like. It's called Puke on My Cylinder Baby. I want to slap your buttocks until they bleed. I want to gag on strands of silly putty and spew the contents of my intestines onto your tits. I want to tie little babies to airplane propellers and then turn the engines on. I want nude women to throw raw sewage on me.
Okay, that's good enough. Now, do you consider yourself an artist? Is that some term that you might find aptly applied to you?
No, I'll let other people call me that, but I find artist to be a very stuffy, pretentious term. I'm just a child that never grew up, and I do things of a creative nature because those are the only things that I find that are very meaningful to me. Creating things. I have this urgent, neurotic frustrating desire to create things, mainly music and tape recordings, but I like drawings and writing words, and so artist is too much of a snotty, pretentious word. I avoid it. I just make things.
I see. Do you believe in love?
It's a word. It's a human emotion. I try to avoid human emotions because and human beings in general. I am more interested with ideas than emotions. I think there's a place for emotions. I don't respond emotionally to too much music, although as an exception, one artist, musical artist that I responded to emotionally on sort of a slightly emotional level was the first 3 LPs of Laura Nero. I generally hate lady singer-songwriters and all that sensitive emotional crap, but for some reason I find her songwriting to be incredibly well put together. There's a lot of pain that she expresses well in her songwriting, and I have a great attachment to her first 3 records. The records after that weren't that great.
You probably...
Yeah, I can respond on that level to her, that type of material, but most of the times I'm more fascinated with ideas. I'm not that emotional.
I see. Why is there so much obscenity, or at least obscenity in the terms of the masses, in the work that you do?
I just trapped myself because, yes, there is a lot of emotion, but it's negative emotion in some of the things I write. It's hatred or disgust with the workaday world. For example, for the last 4 years, I've been working in a menial, low-paying job, and this is a rap that, all my friends and acquaintances have heard over and over again. I have this desire to keep on creating music compositions and recordings and so forth on my own small, impoverished little scale, and I do it every once in a while and get out and play with my groovy band, the Ugly Janitors of America. But unfortunately, I spend most of my waking hours in a menial day job down in a film vault, inventorying film and so forth. And I've had several other jobs before that, and I'm outraged by the fact that in order to justify my existence and pay rent and pay my bills, I have to do something very menial and meaningless for the majority of my waking hours.
Well, now that's not necessarily, why is that true, though? Because there's a lot of people who maybe have less on the ball, less together than you, who aren't doing these menial, meaningless jobs.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe their mom and dad got them a real good job somewhere, but...
So I hear over and over resentment,
well, a lot of it
hate,
is...
frustration. What is it? What does it do for you to express these things, and what could it be doing for other people? Is there something positive that could come out of it, or is even positive something that's not really real?
Yes, I think it's positive. For example, if I wasn't, it's not that much rage, but just a sense of frustration. Most people in this country hate their jobs. Most people work at very lousy, boring, horrible, menial jobs. They're paid to do stupid things, boring things. We live in a sick culture, a voodoo society of false values and idiocy. And I'm simply aware of it, or I try to tell other people about it, and then, of course, it comes off as rage, and I'm just being an immature jerk. But I can justify everything that I say, and I don't have to apologize or rationalize what I do. I just do it, and I firmly believe in the sort of things that I'm saying. I can elaborate a little more when we get into some...
One other question. You're hoping to kind of make people aware of the rage that you have and its significance and meaningfulness. But I wonder if many of the people who listen and like what you do, actually, I wonder if they really appreciate the sentiments as much as they appreciate maybe the fact that there's obscenities, and that's kind of outlandish and it's outrageous and something maybe you can sneak in the bedroom and like play loud when you're pissed off at your mother or something.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm out of my parents' house now, but...
No, but I'm talking about, the people who would listen to your material, and the fact that maybe they're not getting out of it what it is that you want them to get out of it.
Well, I go into a lengthy spiel before a lot of my poems when I do a poetry reading and explain in detail some of what I do. And then other things are just silly. I string idiotic words together for the fun of it.
Okay, I've got some more questions, but I'd like to save them till the end and let you go wild here. And please do.
Okay, now...
one other thing,
yes.
John. Let me just tell our listeners, because I saw the phone ringing. 2 numbers you can reach us at, and actually you probably won't want to be speaking to me, but to John. That's right. He's ready here
Thanks.
to take all callers on. The phone number is two phone numbers, 642-2957 and 642-2866. Don't expect us to answer the phone until we have some music playing or something, because we're going to be talking up until that point. Okay.
Okay, I'd like to do one more little obnoxious. It's not even a poem. It's writings. It's prose. It's making fun of idiocy that I perceive around me. And then right after that, we'll go into some music. I'll tell you about the music now, so you'll be aware of what you're listening to. By the way, if you have a little cassette player or some sort of tape recorder plugged into your stereo, I would urge you to tape record this program, because some of the music, not all of it, but some of the music that we're playing is very rare, it's bizarre, it's unusual. You can't get it in record stores, you can't get it anywhere. And I feel I'm doing you a favor by playing it for you. You can put it on tape and then listen back to it, and if you're stupid enough and don't like it, you can always erase it. But you're getting some things that you ought to save here on the air, so I'm just warning you. The first item we'll be listening to after my beautiful poem is a thing called White Ladies Are Dancing by Severed Head in a Bag, one of the greatest LA bands of all time. And if you haven't heard their music yet, you'll be hearing some of the most beautiful music ever created by Severed Head in a Bag. Then after that is a cut off of the Voices of the Angels double LP. It's a spoken word LP, and the selection we'll be playing is Ivan Roth's selection, Mission Control. And then immediately after that, we'll be hearing The 80s Are Over by Richie Hass and The Solutions. But first, we'll read this beautiful thing that I wrote. Tender emotional feelings. Tender emotional feelings have left me crying in the rain, crying in the rain, crying in the rain, crying in the rain. Oh, baby, baby, I haunt the city streets, wandering empty warehouse districts at night in an anguished stupor, lusting for your beautiful naked teenage body. And it hurts me so to know that you are busy high on drugs, fucking slobbering warthogs at a psychedelic black light day glow rich people's orgy. Oh, tender sentimental emotions have left me crying in the rain, crying in the rain, crying in the rain. I will whimper and moan for your love like Lionel Richie, sobbing neurotic sentimental bullshit on solid gold to ignorant young high school bimbos who don't know what the fuck is going on in the world. Oh girl, someday we can get it together. Yeah. I worship you, deify you, kiss your ass, and forever immortalize you as you fuck slobbering warthogs in a drug-induced stupor. And I wander empty, ugly urban warehouse districts at night, whining for your love. Oh girl, maybe we can get it together someday. Yeah. Oh girl, I shall whimper scads of meaningless pop songs glorifying empty, vain, shallow bimbos like you, who worry about fashion and popularity while fucking slobbering warthogs at the blacklight day glow elitist rich people's drug orgy. At some libertine's mansion in hell, I whimper and whine and moan tender, sentimental emotions for squealing, shallow, vain, materialistic, stupid young American women fucking slobbering warthogs forever in hell.